for a huge game.
And what
we're all looking towards the 10th of May. We're all looking towards that.
Where Arsenal could really make it the most of this is the clean sheet record. 2 in their last 2 games now. They're starting to get defensively strong again. If they can nick goals
1-0s,
now, 1-0s, they don't need
Set
to be
pieces
explosive.
even if, yeah,
exactly. Go back to their strengths. They could take it all the way. Liverpool are conceding each of their last 4 home games. They're not as I know we've been nice about Virgil and all that, but Konate wasn't that convincing against Wolves. Quanta's been in and out. There are deficiencies in that back line and they give opposition teams a chance. Villa look as though they can score goals again as well. The jeopardy's there.
Do you know what it is for Arsenal? I just do think, obviously, Mika Moreno coming on, scoring the 2 goals was huge. Arsenal so many times this season, and certainly without a recognised centre forward, now Havertz is not there, Saka's not too far away. There's games where they're really tight and they just haven't managed to find that spark for someone to step up and get that goal.
Well, they've got Sterling and Trossard and Wanyeri.
Look at them. Look at the teams. Look, there was the League Cup game against Newcastle, and that was, done over the 2 legs. But look at those results in there. Yeah,
but Martinelli was ever present before the Newcastle 2-0. He's no longer there for a little bit. Havertz he's gone down throughout for the season.
But hang on. This is Havertz, who has been under real fire for not being able to finish.
Superstar.
This is Kai Havertz. Suddenly he's got injured, and it's like, well, that's it now.
Well,
there's no Kai Havertz.
No, but it's just another body.
The problem, and now he's the solution.
Now he's the solution.
But no, it's just another body, and he has scored important goals this season. But when you then remove him, and then you remove Martinelli, Saka's not there. I mean, you're relying on.
And even if he's not scored, he's another distraction for defence.
Exactly. And we've got Wanyeri. He's a 17-year-old kid, as special as he is.
And he doesn't play like a 17-year-old at all.
He does. It's just options, and that's where I just think Arsenal may. I hope they don't.
I think they'll fall short based upon that, though, guys. I think the front line is so crucial. We talk about Liverpool's defence, but you look at that front 3 at the weekend with Trossard, Sterling, Wanyeri, that isn't a championship winning side. That isn't.
All it needs to be is provide that energy that's going to keep them going for 2 months.
Yeah, but not the quality. The quality. Look at Liverpool's front line.
Where's got the quality?
Performance from Liverpool, and it comes off the back of the defeat by Plymouth in the FA Cup. It comes off the back of that late equaliser in an emotionally exhausting last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park in midweek, and they looked like they were running on fumes against Wolves.
Do you know, for everything you've just said there, I just feel that's why I feel they're going to be the champions, because they're not playing well and they're still getting results, and I think that's the problem almost at the minute.
Doesn't there come a point where results catch up with performances?
No, because I feel like their performances will go up again. I think this is just their blip kind of situation. Witness, they might get beat here, they might get beat there, but I just feel with Liverpool, the firepower they've got, they're not necessarily planned that well, but they're still getting results. At some point, this is not going to continue. Their performances will go up again. They'll start to play really well again.
And they're still winning games, like you say.
That's the big thing.
The thing is, and I'm trying to inject a note of jeopardy in here, the thing is, this is a big week for Liverpool because they've got the League Cup final to come in March. So their game there has been rescheduled for midweek, this week coming, which is Aston Villa. They're at Aston Villa for that game. At the weekend, they're at the Etihad for Manchester City, and we saw what they just did to Newcastle. Then they've got Newcastle in the Premier League. They've only got 1 Premier League game in the whole of March. That's the one against Southampton because they've got the League Cup final. And then it's a Merseyside derby. And yes, this one is at Anfield, so it doesn't come with quite that emotional kind of chaos that we saw in the one at Goodison. They're not easy. I mean, OK, Southampton at home, you would think with Southampton's performances this season should be all right. They are not an easy run of fixtures between now and the beginning of April.
No, they're not. But like what Benty alluded to, they're winning games when they're not playing that well. And that's what the best teams do. That's how teams historically have won the Premier League. Winning 1-0, a win's a win. But I think this Liverpool team, like I've said it many times on this show and on Team Talks as well, like Mo Salah, like the guy's a joke. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how old he is. I've said to you and you always laugh at me, give that man whatever he wants. Because he's a game changer. I don't think they'll ever get anybody in the near future to replace someone like Mo Salah. So I think, this Liverpool team, they play like champions at times. They've got Gakpo, their strength in depth is unbelievable. When Jota's injured, there's Darwin Nunez, he's not at his best, but they still have that quality. McAllister, like the quality they have And Virgil van Dijk's having a great season as well. So I think they can win those games. I do. I think what you've seen what Arne Slot's done, they haven't skipped a beat since Jurgen Klopp left, have they, really? I mean, if anything, they've kind of taken it to another level, but then at the detriment of Man City. Also, I'm sure Jurgen Klopp's thinking I should have left next year because, you know, the fact that City have had this blip that they're having, no one saw that coming. And then it's down to Arsenal to kind of push them all the way.
Do you know what, my only thing with Liverpool, I think for me the key, and you're right, Salah, I mean, the goals he scored is Virgil. I just feel if they lost Virgil to injuries or the contract or that type of situation, the injury is probably the big thing. I just don't think Liverpool fans would feel as comfortable if it's, and listen, Kwanzaa's good young talent, Gomez, Kanate, all good players in their own right, but you put Virgil next to anybody and they're going to be calm. You take him out of it and you've just got those two, that's where I think,
and I think that's the reason why you have to keep that jeopardy in there. Also, the fact that Liverpool against Wolves, it almost was as if 2-0 was too easy. They started coasting, they were like a horse that gets to the front and then starts to idle in front and actually needs to be challenged to go again. What I think really did vindicate Arne Slot is he had a lot of criticism for the side he played against Plymouth. But if you think about when the original Everton game was postponed in December and last week's game against Everton, they played twice a week for 8 out of those 9 weeks. And when you look at Everton's energy levels in that game and the way that Everton came back, they kept going all the way to the end, had he gone strong in that Plymouth game, those players would not have had the legs to live with Everton in that emotionally chaotic game, as you were saying. And then I was looking at the fixtures coming up. You had Everton on Wednesday, you had Wolves on Sunday, you've got Villa on Wednesday, you've got Manchester City 4 days later after that. I mean, the games are coming thick and fast for them. And Slot is absolutely right to manage the squad the way that he's managed it so that they can cope. Otherwise, you're adding another element of jeopardy, chasing a 4-timer that Liverpool have gone for before and failed to do. Why would you do that when you can actually maximise your potential to stay top of the league and top of the Champions League?
And as much as we look ahead to the City game at the weekend, and Liverpool will have played Aston Villa at Villa Park in midweek, Manchester City will have played at the Bernabeu in the Champions League, and then all the last 16 games come into play after that for both Liverpool and for Arsenal. And actually,
Wolves star Matheus Cunha has been heavily linked with Arsenal over recent weeks, and now the Gunners have been sent a glowing verdict by the captain of their main Premier League rivals. The January transfer window saw Arsenal credited with an interest in...
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting updates.